What's up? It's Jeff from The Used. I'm hanging out with Rob here on Punkvideosrock.
The latest album, Imaginary Enemy, a little different from all the other stuff that you guys have done. You went more on the political side. How did that album get, how did the fans accept that album?
Oh, really well. A lot of people were saying it's more like our first stuff. It kind of throws back a little bit to the first couple records, you know what I mean? And lyrically it's way off. It's way different from the first couple records, you know what I mean? Which is kind of a cool juxtapose of like the old and the new put together, you know? And for me to even talk about the lyrical content, Bert is probably better to speak about the lyrical content, but I have my own like ideas of how each song works, which I just think everybody should. You probably should too, and he probably should, depending on whatever. But for me, I was just telling him over there, I think your money is a vote, and you need to use that money wisely. You know what I mean? Like if you go to places like Walmart, you are voting for a billionaire to have more money. That's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying?
See, I don't think about it that way, but now I will.
You know what I mean? Because it really is. That's how it is. Like you're voting for your community to be screwed up by going there. You know what I mean? But if you go to like somewhere local, you're helping a family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so the same with bands and the same with music. You know what I mean? If you want that band to stay around, you need to vote for them. In a way of like going to shows. You go to a show, you're voting for that band to win. You know what I mean? You're voting to be around. That's how I look at it, and that's kind of what the record means a lot to me, is more of that getting involved in stuff. You know what I mean?
And getting involved with the politics side, for example. You know, this is record number 6, right?
Something like that, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't want to say it took a long time for you guys to get to that point, but I mean, why did you guys do it now?
You know, it's always been on our minds. We talk a lot, we think a lot, you know what I mean? And I think it was just timing, you know what I mean? Like it's the first record, each record has, well, as you know, all of our records sort of have a theme to it in a sense. Like, I mean, In Love and Death was kind of exactly what it was about, you know what I mean? Like that's what it was about.
Yeah.
It's kind of harder to explain because I don't write the words, you know what I mean? I come up with the bass and we kind of musically come together, but lyrically you want to talk to that guy more than anything. But yeah, each record has kind of it really was. We did plan that actually. I saw it in there too, yeah. Kind of lost my train of thought. But anyway, it was more the timing of how the record worked. You know what I mean? This is the time that we need to talk about this because this is really what was all on our minds for this time, you know? Support, local, all of that, you know. Now,
and not only with the lyrics on it, you guys did you guys really record this record like backwards? You did a lot of different things on it. Like what's the deal?
That's what I always said. It was backwards. Technically, it's not backwards. Technically, it started with. So we wrote like 30 songs. We went to the studio with 30 songs, scrapped them all, started over. Okay, and from there we just started with guitar lines that we kind of cut up and hacked. And from there, Bert went over top and came up with melodies and vocal lines. And so from that, we sort of had a head start on the vocals before the rest of the music.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So we re-recorded guitar, recorded drums, bass, all that stuff, starting after the vocals were already sort of started. You know, so it was kind of a backwards thought on things. Like it was a lot, for me, bass-wise, strictly speaking bass-wise, it was very awesome for me. I had a lot more freedom, I think. You know what I mean? Stuff I couldn't step on anybody's toes because I kind of knew where the toes are. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't personally want to do it always that way. I like jamming together and coming up with songs as a vibe because I like live more than I like recordings. And so it was good while it happened. It was good while it lasted. You know?
So we might not expect something like that for another record. You'd probably go back to your normal.
Hopefully the normal way. We're starting writing, not tomorrow, but the next day.
Already? That's quick.
Starting to write already, yeah. We have a whole new record plan that won't come out for a while, so I'm not promoting it yet, but I'm just saying we're starting it.
That's rather quick. So do you feel you've already done the tour cycle for that album?
Almost. We have another secret for next year that I can't talk about yet.
You guys are full of secrets. You stay quiet a little bit, and then you come out with so much shit.
I'm telling you, after that show on the 11th, I'm telling you about, there's a whole tour booked for next year that's it's going to be out of fucking control. I don't know if I can say out of on this, but anyway, we have that once in a lifetime show, and then we have a once in a lifetime tour that's completely different from that show. So they're actually both separate, two different once in a lifetime moments.
My mind is getting blown right now.
It has to do with the first and second record, the next tour. So I'm just going to say that it's going to be fucking crazy.
Some anniversary stuff.
It's going to be crazy. Okay, So don't miss both of those if you can. I'm telling you, it's going to be crazy.
All right, now with anniversaries around the corner, then you guys obviously have been around for quite some time. 6 albums already, and 1 on the way. How have you guys evolved as musicians? How do you feel you've evolved as a bass player?
You know, I think evolved and progressed and all that stuff. I think I've learned how to play with more than, you know what I mean, more than around.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So it's not like what notes you choose, it's what you don't choose a lot of the time. And sometimes I get a little caught up in what I choose, if that makes sense. And I'm being a little vague here, but jamming is it. I wish you could just jam live and that's it. You know what I mean? Just record that, but it doesn't work out that way. But
Maybe just try it one time. You might have like another great album.
usually on tour, we'll during a show we'll write. Well, I call them songs, but more like jingles. Per show, we'll have like one jingle that comes up and happens. You know, not always, but there's a lot that we've done.
And what is it about the Used that continues to keep its relevancy over the years?
You know, we put a lot of focus on music and live. We love touring, and we love writing, and we like being real. We're real people. Like, I mean, there's no difference between us and anybody in the crowd. We're there for the same reason. We're there for music. We're there to play a show. They're there to be at that show. It's the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, they're putting on. This is the way I look at it. Every show is 50% the crowd and 50% us.
Right.
So when you have both together, it makes the 100%. If the crowd wasn't there, the show would be sort of awkward.
Yeah, really.
And if we weren't there, it'd be confusing too. You know what I mean? So either way, it takes both sides.
Recently, you guys are touring right now, missing one member just temporarily. What is that like for you guys on stage?
Incredible. Justin is incredible. If you haven't seen us with Justin, you need to. He's singing harmonies. He's playing crazy guitar parts. Like he's a talented young man.
But is it weird since you guys have been a band for a long time? Does that feel weird at the same time?
You know, at first we thought it was going to, but Justin fit in the first day of tour perfectly. Like personality and musically, very smoothly.
Nice.
Yeah. He's a good dude.